Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols, reaming my body.
Alright guys, the spoilers had just come out. Naruto and Sasuke are actually filled in about Ada and Daemon. Amado actually reveals that Kawaki has an off button, and Code actually does vow to become the biggest hater in Shinobi history. Alright, so this chapter right here was absolutely insane. I want to start with one of the least things. In a regular chapter, this might have been one of the biggest things, but for this chapter, this like pales in comparison. As I said, Naruto and Sasuke finds out about Ada and Daemon. The information about Ada was extremely in-depth. They kind of knew almost everything about Ada, mainly because Shikamaru is filled in by Amado himself, and not only that, he's seen a first-hand look of it. Naruto and Sasuke don't necessarily completely understand Ida's abilities of having people captivated by her beauty as of yet, but I'm pretty sure sooner or later they're probably going to find out. Now, not only that, the information about Daemon isn't necessarily that concrete. They don't necessarily know exactly what the situation is with Daemon. All Shikamaru knows is that there's a second person that was actually there. Not only that, they also have the information that these cyborgs are supposed to be significantly stronger than Jigen. I question that, but regardless, that's the intel that we do have as of right now. And it's kind of funny in Daemon's case, mainly because Shikamaru probably believes that Daemon is like significantly stronger than he actually is, because as of right now, Shikamaru has no idea about this quote-unquote reflective ability that Daemon actually does have. All Shikamaru seen was that Code just summoned somebody through a portal or pulled somebody through a portal, and the next second Kawaki is just completely motionless like Jason Tatum in the fourth quarter. But the next thing that I definitely do have to point out is the fact that we found out some more abilities about Daemon. This right here was very, very important, and of course it's going to be very important going into the later episodes of the Boruto series, especially if Daemon's going to be on our side or either we're going to be fighting against him. It turns out that his reflective abilities only work if his palms are actually touching someone. This is something that we haven't necessarily heard about before. It was hinted towards that his abilities had a little bit more to it, and now we finally get to find out the information. Now, unfortunately for Code, in this chapter, he felt frog and he leapt. He kind of thought that because he understood the powers of Daemon that he probably could have taken him. Unfortunately for Code, as I said, Daemon's taijutsu abilities are damn near better than his actual reflective abilities. Daemon was significantly faster than Code, significantly stronger than Code. When it came to hand-to-hand combat, it looked like Himawari versus Naruto, and Code was Naruto. Now, before I dive too deep into the Code versus Daemon back and forth, I definitely did want to talk about some extra stuff that they did actually add. First things first, Amado did actually confess that he implanted a quote-unquote off button into Kawaki. We've seen a similar thing that he did actually have with Delta when he completely turned Delta off right before him and Koji made his move against Jigen. It made it seem that the Hidden Leaf Village are kind of in on this. Now, I'm not completely sure, this might have been the translation or because I read the spoilers just way too early in the morning or something like that, but what Amado did actually say was that the Hidden Leaf Village was kind of viewing him as dispensable, and because he now has this quote-unquote off button for Kawaki, a character who's a complete loose cannon in the Hidden Leaf Village, it might mean that the Hidden Leaf Village have a lot more value for Amado, and that might have been one of the reasons why Amado did actually do this. In fact, he himself actually called it one of his trump cards. And on top of that, we also got the confirmation that Amado has some sort of ulterior motive, that he actually does need to use Kawaki's karma power for something. Now, stemming off of that, we don't necessarily know if he wants to use his karma powers for good or bad. We're probably going to get to find that out in the next chapter, which is probably not going to come until August. But Amado's life was spared specifically because of Kawaki. Right before Code was actually about to slash Amado, Amado blurted out that he had some intel about Kawaki, and of course Ida, because she's completely in love and infatuated with Kawaki. But because of that, Ida of course demanded that Code stop. Code himself didn't want to stop, and Daemon essentially pulled up to him like, yo, you heard the boss. Supposedly Code's ego got way too high, and then he actually challenged Daemon to a 1v1, even though before all of this, Ida already told this man like, yo, your powers are going to be no match for us. This man still tried Daemon, and the craziest thing was the fact that he did all this for Ida. Like, he did it for the love of Ida. He wanted to be Ida's only one and sole knight. And the crazy part about this is that he took an L from Ida as well. Not only did he take an L from Code, he took an L from Ida. To be honest, I can't tell you guys the last time I got Code actually did take a W. Ida in this particular chapter essentially dumped Code, and of course right after that he got completely dominated by Daemon. Now, right after he did lose the battle versus Daemon, he essentially took Bug and went to a completely different location. As of right now, we don't necessarily know specifically where Code is, but Code did actually vow to destroy Kawaki, destroy everything that he did hold near and dear to him. So this essentially includes the Hidden Leaf Village, Naruto, Boruto, etc. I'm pretty sure if he got a pet rabbit, Cold is probably gonna want to kill that. But Ada essentially kind of threatened Cold and told Cold that, hey, if you do something or try to do something to Kawaki, we're going to end up killing you. And of course, this right here is a big threat coming from Ada, mainly because she has the Senringan. And notably, while she was telling Cold this, she actually did have the Senringan activated, so Cold knew exactly what the threat was. At the end of the spoilers, the roadmap for the Boruto manga as of right now is completely up in the air, but we have a decent idea of what's going to happen. It looks like Ada, Daemon, and Amado are actually going back to the Hidden Leaf Village for Ada to actually find some love from Kawaki, and also for Amado to essentially bring back 2 other powerhouses to the Hidden Leaf Village. Not only that, we have Cold himself that did quote-unquote threaten to actually become an Otsutsuki member to actually come back. Now, one of the interesting things that I did notice about these spoilers, when Cold essentially said that he wants to become an Otsutsuki member, he said he wants to place a god tree on this planet. I don't necessarily know why Cold would actually do something like that, mainly because twofold. Where would he get the Otsutsuki member from? If he legitimately wants to take Boruto, I'm pretty sure Kawaki's gonna have a problem with that. Because Kawaki's gonna have a problem with that, Ida's probably gonna have a problem with that, and because Ida probably has a problem with that, then Daemon is probably gonna have a problem with that. So that right there is probably not necessarily gonna work. Hypothetically, if he did go to a different dimension, did go to a different planet, then he did say, hey, I'm gonna plant a god tree on this planet, it would make a lot more sense if he would try to actually plant that 10 tails on a different planet. But as of right now, he did say that he did want to plant a 10 tails on that planet. But regardless, I'm going to dive a lot deeper into this information when the full chapter actually does come out. I might even make some more videos kind of detailing what I think about these spoilers in the upcoming days. But I definitely do want to know what you guys think about these spoilers in the comment section down below. A lot of big things did actually happen in this particular chapter. Naruto and Sasuke found out about Ada and Daemon. Amado essentially says that he now has an off button inside of Kawaki. We found out some more abilities about Daemon. Cold is essentially going absolutely rogue and became and vowed to become the biggest hater in the Shinobi history. And of course, Ada and Daemon are actually headed to the Hidden Leaf Village. This right here gotta be a nightmare for the Hidden Sand Village, the Hidden Cloud Village, the Hidden Rain Village, and the Hidden Stone Village. This is embarrassing. But let me what you guys think. It's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.